Karen pours soda on the guard, confident that her money gives her the right to do anything. But his cold reaction shocks the crowd. In the next moment, she realizes that her actions will lead to a disaster. What happened next stunned everyone. London greets the dawn with a light drizzle, the drops glistening on the asphalt. But that doesn't stop the tourists. The streets are buzzing with noise, movement, and people with cameras. In the midst of all this chaos stands a guard at his post in front of Buckingham Palace, like a living symbol of the past. His perfect uniform, the red tunic, and his stillness are more than just a man in uniform. He is the embodiment of tradition, endurance, and respect, things that, as can be seen, have long been forgotten by those passing by. And then she appears. Karen, a picky, middle-aged woman with an expression that screams, "Give me what I want." In her hand is a plastic bottle of soda, and she happily bounces over to the guard. A small crowd of tourists gathers around, already noticing his calm demeanor. Naturally, it's an excellent opportunity for mockery. And what could be better for Karen than poking fun at the majestic soldier? "Hey, you, smile," Karen yells, baring her teeth. "Want a drink? I've got soda." Her laugh is that of a true clown, and her gaze is filled with confidence. Of course, she isn't planning to stop at jokes. Waiting for a reaction, Karen grins and holds the bottle to the guard's face. He doesn't move, his gaze still fixed ahead, his face as impassive as ever. And that's when Karen realizes she needs to go further. She opens the bottle with a loud pop and, surprisingly cruel, douses the guard with soda. The liquid splashes on his face, staining his uniform. This moment is the climax of her provocation. She wants to see his reaction, waiting for him to finally crack. But the guard doesn't move. He remains standing like a statue. It's incredible, isn't it? How can this man stay so calm when he's literally being insulted? The tourists around begin to laugh, recording everything on their cameras, shouting, "The guard broke!" But this guard doesn't just stay composed. He becomes a symbol of imperturbability. His uniform, though slightly damp, is still immaculate, and Karen, not getting the desired reaction, feels her small victory slipping away. What did she do wrong? Why didn't he break like everyone else? The onlookers seem ready to support her behavior, since she's a tourist and she has the right? But anyone who respects culture should condemn her actions. Who does that? It's just beyond the pale. Respect for traditions, for people, for other cultures, it all vanishes when this type of person appears, convinced that everything around them exists for their personal entertainment. Friends, if you also think Karen is just an idiot, leave a comment below. What has happened to tradition, respect, and dignity? Karen won't stop at that. Well, if the guard doesn't want to react to her dramatic antics, she'll move on to more creative ideas. Her group continues filming, and those who got closer are entertained. Laughter, jokes, chants. This gives Karen the confidence she needs, since even though her trick didn't work, it still drew attention. Now, she decides it's time to take full control of the situation. "Look, guys, a guard who won't entertain us," she declares loudly, trying to overpower the noise of the crowd with her voice. "Let's take a selfie to make it fun." It's as if she's not on a sightseeing tour, but filming her own show. Proudly raising her phone, the camera already aimed. She approaches the guard, stepping forward with manic pleasure, getting closer and closer, reaching out to touch his hat. All she needs is to capture a selfie with this symbol of British discipline and respect, with the absolutely still soldier in the background who, in her mind, is just part of the scenery. Here, her complete misunderstanding becomes clear. The guard isn't an entertainment prop. He's a living legend standing guard over order and traditions that Karen clearly doesn't respect. The tourists around her pick up on her idea. Someone shouts, "Hey, smile," and someone else stupidly yells, "Let him react at least." Laughter. Laughter as the cornerstone of the modern tourist who is sure the world exists for their amusement. But Karen decides not to stop there. She pulls out the soda bottle again, aiming it at the guard, ready to repeat her trick, hoping for a more dramatic reaction. But then something strange happens. The guard's gaze, hidden under his helmet, seems sharper. Without moving, he seems to sense her approaching. He can't turn around, he can't respond, but something in his expression shifts. It doesn't look like the usual reaction of a person enduring mockery, but the inner control he maintains becomes even more palpable. Karen, however, doesn't notice that her actions could lead to unexpected consequences. She takes another step forward, confident in her victory, unaware of how close she's gotten to the horses standing beside the guard. Seriously, do you also think she's acting like a complete idiot? Of course, who treats culture and traditions like toys for entertainment? It's simply beyond the pale. Meanwhile, the guard remains still, almost majestic, as if reminding everyone who the real authority is here. But what will happen next? What if Karen finally experiences firsthand the real consequences of the traditions she so easily ignores? Unsatisfied with her small triumph, Karen decides that now her victory will be complete. Once again, she grabs the soda bottle, barely concealing the excitement in her eyes. The guard isn't just a person to her, he's part of her circus, where she is the main performer. With each step, she grows bolder, reaching the bottle toward his face, this time deciding to go all in. Karen leans in, squealing as she drenches his helmet with soda. Around her, cheers and laughter erupt. She feels on top of the world. All the shouts from the crowd, her victory against the absolutely still soldier. What could be better? Yes, I'm the hero, she thinks, not realizing she is becoming part of the chaos. But, as often happens in her life, she overlooks one small detail: the guard's horse. With every move Karen makes, the animal grows more and more nervous. It senses danger, the noise of the crowd irritates it, and when Karen decides to take another step forward, holding the bottle to his helmet, something unexpected happens. The horse, startled by fear, jerks its head sharply, and with a furious snort nearly knocks Karen off her feet. In an instant, her balance slips, and no matter how hard she tries to hold on, she crashes to the ground. The forces leave her, and suddenly, from the center of her joy, a brutal fear surges. Yes, she fell, hard and loud. But now she understands she's done something bigger than just an amusing show. The guard, still motionless, does not flinch, does not show any emotion. But there is a slight tension in his eyes. He sees Karen losing her balance, sees her triumph crumbling, but he remains still. Perhaps she thinks this is all just a circus. Maybe she expects something from him, but he doesn't move, doesn't react. His composure and dignity are what his actions convey. Instead of staging a drama or showing her victory, the guard quietly approaches and pulls her from under the horse's hooves. He isn't angry, he doesn't shout, he doesn't hurl accusations at her, he simply helps her stand. And then, finally, his words break the silence. Next time, don't play with fire. The words are neither shouted nor thunderous, but they seem designed to shatter her naive sense of superiority. Karen, caught off guard, tries to justify herself. But the more she speaks, the more ridiculous and pitiful her posture becomes. The crowd begins to murmur in disapproval. At first, there's a quiet condemnation, then open dissatisfaction. This is not what they expected to see. Who does this? It's just beyond the pale. Seriously, you wouldn't believe it if someone told you that someone was dumb enough to provoke a guard, who stands as a guardian of culture and history. But this arrogant tourist decides her right to entertainment is more important than respect for traditions. The person standing before her isn't just a soldier. He's a symbol, and she simply doesn't understand that. And all the comments from the crowd, yes, even her own group isn't backing her up. When you're the one being judged, when the realization of your foolishness hits you like a wave, you suddenly understand how far you've gone. Karen doesn't seem to realize that her show has turned into a full-fledged disaster. As soon as she leaves the area, her humiliation starts spreading faster than she could ever have imagined. The video of her fall is already on the front pages of all social media platforms. With every second, with every new view, her disgrace becomes more and more apparent. Ironically, she's no longer just a tourist. She's become a symbol of complete disrespect. Yes, all her friends and acquaintances will see this, and now she's a meme. A textbook example of how not to behave in a historical square. Karen probably thought her actions would make everyone laugh, but it seems she won't be the one at the center of that laughter. With every step she takes, with every move on the pavement, she feels the respect slipping away from her, her pride deflating like a balloon pricked with a needle. And how humiliating it is. Meanwhile, of course, the laughter continues. With phones in hand, smartphones are broadcasting her clumsy fall worldwide. But here's the most important part. The guard returns to his post. He straightens up, adjusts his helmet, and once again becomes a part of the majestic, unshakable statue, a symbol of discipline and stoicism. His face is like stone, but now, after everything that's happened, he is seen as a true hero. Not just a man, but someone who, despite all the attempts to provoke him, remains composed. He stands. He is resilience. Everyone who witnessed this scene now looks at him with respect, acknowledging his calm in such a provocative situation. They understand. This person isn't just a soldier. He is a true symbol of British greatness. Yes, he's the one who, despite everything, maintained his dignity. In that moment, all those who had laughed so eagerly suddenly realize the guard isn't just part of the decor, he's an ideal that shouldn't be mocked. Phones continue recording, comments flood in, and here's one that perfectly sums it all up. The guard is the only person in this world who holds respect for traditions no matter what. Karen and her soda, just hilarious. And it's true, seriously. Who behaves like that in 2025? Who? The carnival age is long gone, but people like Karen still think they can do anything. Seriously, do you see this, right? How she messed up? How all these tourist rights led her to disgrace? How she, with her arrogance and foolish behavior, has now ended up at rock bottom. And the guard? He remains a symbol. Calm, silent, but still majestic. And yes, maybe for Karen, this is not just a lesson, it's a catastrophe. But for us, the onlookers, it's yet another moment to understand the importance of holding oneself together. Aktiye.